everyone, it's Kim with Coffee Cup Talk. Today we're talking about Disneyland, like I promised last week. Disneyland opened up on July 17th, 1955. It was considered a big flop, believe it or not. Nothing was ready as far as they had, it was hot. The asphalt hadn't dried, and back then the women all wore high heels and they were sinking into the asphalt. People got a hold of the tickets and made copies of them, so there was way more people than they expected. They had to choose with water to either have drinking fountains or toilets, so they chose to have the toilets running instead of the drinking fountains. Was probably a good choice. Hi, Christy. On Main Street, there's only one real flag on the whole street. And they did that because they couldn't take them all down every night. And then, so the flags look very close, but they're a replica with less stripes and less stars, so they don't have to have them illuminated. And every morning and every night, they raise the flag in a ceremony there, which you can watch with a band, and they fold the flag and raise the flag. It's fun to watch if you can ever get a chance to do that. Most people don't know, if you walk down Main Street, there's up on the top, there's people, they're Imagineers, or the names on the windows. There's also a little place down by the Starbucks. There's a little alleyway, you go inside there, and there's a dance studio, a dentist, a barber, dance studio. Anyway, if you stand there and listen, just listen, don't talk, you can hear somebody getting ready in their upstairs in their bathroom, and you can hear them gargling, the tap dancers. It's a lot of fun. Then it is now a 122-year-old palm tree next to the Jungle Cruise. Walt Disney moved it just slightly, but it's still there today and growing. It's right by the Fast Passes. So if you're ever there, go by there and you can see the palm tree. It's 122 years old. Indiana Jones, in the queue there's a couple things to look for. Every ride that's built, when it takes over an area or a pre-existing ride, they leave homage to that ride or whatever piece of land it was somewhere in the ride. So if you're in Indiana Jones in the queue and you look back just by where the projector is telling you to wear your seatbelts, if you look back and up at the top where the projector is, you can see where the original sign from the Eeyore parking lot is. If you ask a cast member, they'll shine their light up there and let you see it. Also, when you go by the queue a little further, you go by Indiana Jones's office. In there, the props in there are from the movie itself. So just a little fun fact for you, something to think about when you're in there. We'll also have the Pirates of the Caribbean. In there, the fun fact there is, when they first decided to do that, they were going to make it be a ride-through wax museum. So I'm glad they changed that. They have the two drops are there because they have to go underneath the railroad track. So you drop down twice to go underneath, and there's a building behind, and then you come around where the ride is held, and then you come back up and enter up in the building you were there. So after you leave, and inside there, there is real. We also, when you leave Pirates of the Caribbean and you look up on top there where the Dream Suite is, you'll see a railing there with some initials, a W and an R. That's for Walt Disney and Roy, his brother, and that's their quote, just to show that they put their signature on there. When you go back where the train is in New Orleans Square, you can hear a telegraph going in Morse code. You wonder what that's saying, and it is saying, I wrote it down. To all who come to Disneyland, welcome. Memories. Welcome. Here are the aged relives the welcome of the fond memories and the past, and the youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. And that was Disney's opening speech, the two first sentences that he said when opening the park. So if you ever go back to catch the train, that's what you're hearing in Morse code. Haunted Mansion has the largest elevator in the world, and that would be the stretching room. And so it can carry about 30 people down, but only 10 people up. And they have made it so it unrolls, so it looks like the ceiling's going up, but you're actually going down. Let's see. Then also Fantasyland, that'll bring us to the next one. You see the King Arthur's Carousel. It's rumored that Walt Disney's favorite horse to ride on that carousel was named Jingles. They all have names. If you find the one that says Jingles, that's the one that Walt Disney picked as his favorite. Then we're it twice, opening day, and when they rethemed Fantasyland, they reopened it, and so you could see the drawbridge actually go down. In Frontierland, fun fact there is Walt Disney restaurant there. They have a Mexican restaurant that they made tortilla chips with flavoring on them back in the early 60s. It became such a high sought after item that Frito-Lay came and bought the idea, and Doritos were born from that. I thought that was a fun fact too. Anyway, they Matterhorn, I'm sure you've heard, has a basketball court in the top. Well, technically it's a basketball court, but it's only a half court. It's some markings on the floor and a hoop. And the reason they have that there, hi Jennifer, they have that there because Walt Disney wanted Matterhorn to be a certain height, taller than the castle, and you couldn't do that unless it was a sporting arena. So he put a basketball hoop in there and a half court, and they took that as a sporting arena. So that's how we got that. Then on A Small World, there you can see there the gold that's painted on It's a Small World is all not paint. It's really 22 karat gold. Walt Disney thought that would be a lot easier to do in the long run, and it would be less work than repainting cost effectively than painting it all these years. So they just polished the gold. And that annoying song that everybody hears, It's a Small World After All, is the most played song ever because I wonder it gets stuck in our head. Then we go to Tomorrowland. I don't know if you notice, but when you go through there, all the plants that are planted all in that park and all the beautiful bedding plants are all edible. They have peppers and herbs, and they grow them all there. So it's fun to watch and look if you really pay attention to that. That's about all I have today. So that's my roundup of Disneyland, and I hope to see you next week. I hope you had fun learning this stuff about Disneyland, my home away from home. Have a good night. See you later.